Hello, Raising Hales here from Hale Hives again. Wanted to give you an update from last week's video where we had looked at these two nucleus colonies that we were looking at trying to expand here on. If you remember from last week, we had this 5-framer over here. Did not look good, did not find a queen or anything in it. And one of the two cells in this queen castle also could not find a queen in it. Well, this week we did find a queen in the second cell here of this queen castle, and this one was doing really good. She looked nice and big and mated, so we took her out and marked her. We'll just open that up in just a second. The 5-frame nuke, however, still had no queen, no evidence of any queen in it, so it looked pretty weak. So what we've done is we took the one queen that was in the middle cell of the queen cell over here, and we're going to move her over here into this one with bees and the frames that were in that 3-frame section over there, and move it to the 5-frame, and then give this one, who's already laying well, some room to expand. So that's what we did. Let's just open them up and see what the results were. Pretty calm. So two cooking there. Now we've got, you can see there's plenty of bees here on the edge. Plenty of food from what we had put in to start with, but no additional new brood. There is some brand new larvae down in the middle cell here. Look at these. So you see right in the middle of that frame, you can see a few larvae are in there. And we have a new queen in this hive as well. Small, still kind of runty, but we're gonna let her go with it, what she got for now, and give it another couple of weeks and see what happens in this frame, in this hive. We'll put that back in and leave these guys alone for now. And this hive over here, let me get a little smoke on here because they're a little more active. So last week we had this divided into thirds, in between 3 different things, and we had a queen cell, which now is over there, and the queen that was in here was doing pretty good, so we left her in. I'm going to give her some more room to expand. So to show you what we've got now, there are 6 frames now in this queen cell nuke, and you can see quite a few adherent bees. A couple new frames here without something, give them plenty of room to build out on. And I don't remember which one the queen was on, but we'll pull this one up here in the middle right here, see what she looks like. Let them know we're coming in. As you can see, there's some frame around here, a little bit of pollen, plenty of room for her to lay in. And she's in here now. Won't see her on that one. Let's see if we see her on this one. We'll give her one more shot, and if we don't see her, then we'll move on. Because they're a little testy for me being in them a little earlier today. And I don't see her directly, so. But that's what we're looking at. And we're going to give this a chance to grow. And we will look back into these again next week. Also, put this back together. Get in. Beetle blaster. Beetles are a problem down here in Louisiana, so try to take every step we can to get them taken care of. Isn't that gone? Also, if you remember last week, we actually pulled this this box off of this one. We got about 54 pounds of honey, I think, out of this box. We brought it back out and put it back on. These other 2 boxes were on here last week. They are still full, still not fully capped. So we're still waiting for, give these a couple more weeks of the tallow flow to fill them up, finish filling them up and capping them off. They're pretty much full already. I think the same is full down here in the east. But let me finish up and we'll take a peek at these in just a minute. We'll be right back. Well, a couple of weeks ago when we had those 22 queen cells, we had dropped one couple in here because we thought we were queenless in this one. Well, it turns out last week we looked and we did not really find evidence of a queen. This week also, still no evidence of a queen. There's still some brood from some some brood that was up in the honey super that we moved down about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. It's about time for that to finish hatching out. But right now we don't really see any eggs or anything. We're going to give this one more. There's plenty of honey in that blue box. That one's full and heavy. This one's about half full. We're going to give them another week or whatever and see what happens with these two. The other two over here, we have got opened it up, looking at the top. Look at all the bees in the top of that. Or even smoke them down. We can see they're pretty full. Let's take a look at Charlie over here next door too. We'll go ahead and lift the lid off of her. Let's see what she looks like. Yes, look at all the bees in there. So they're two loaded. If you remember last week in Charlie, it actually put this empty super on top that actually came from Old Yeller all the way down at the end. We picked that one empty super that I had on top when it was 5 high and put that empty one here. So we're going to check it to see if she's done some work this week. So right now, we'll go ahead and get into this one, just the top of it, and see. It's not doing so hot today. I ran out of pine straw and had to use some regular straw. So, good, bad, or other. Give them a squirt and just see where we stand up here. Another time. Still quite a few guards on the top. Showing some bird comb. So last week we pulled that purple box off of here and had 48 pounds of honey that we took out of its box and left these other two on because they were still not quite capped. So let's see where we are today. And they're a little excited. So that looks like we're still in the same boat. And guess what? Looks like we got a skinny queen laying brood up into this honey super as well. Huh, makes me wonder what that one looks like. The mistakes of being a beekeeper. Maybe we moved the wrong frame from over here. So I guess we're going to leave that like it is for now, since we're pretty much at the end of our tallow flow for another week, maybe 2. So we're going to let those go. Let those hatch out. Tell you what, let's take a, they're a little excited today. Let's try to demotivate them a little more. Well, the bees were getting a little testy on this one while we were through it. My smoker was running around a little oomph, having to use that straw, and my photography assistant was getting buzzed over there and had to take a little break away from them as well. Looks like one's jumping around her right now too. Let's finish this up real quick and let's look at Charlie and see where we are in her. There again are a lot of bees up at the top here. This is the empty from the one on the end that we had moved down here and extracted last week. This one needed one, so we put it back on top of here. Yep, a little testy at 3 o'clock in the afternoon here on a Saturday. Some of those girls are coming back home. So let's just see how they pulled this. Remember, this one was completely empty last week. Had a few frames of, yep. Had a few frames that were already pulled, like that one. See, it's full and fixing to be capped, about half capped, not half capped, about a quarter capped. And we had checkerboarded these with new frames too, and looks like they're starting to pull that, fill that as well. So this is looking kind of nice. So they're pulling that, filling that. Like I said, we've got about 2 more weeks, maximum 2 more weeks of the tallow flow here. Looks like they're pulling a few empty frames and filling the ones that were already there. So we still have 1, 2, 3, 4 frames, 5 out of these 10 that they're still pulling and doing. So I think I'm going to give them this week to finish pulling those out, so I won't put another box on. I've got another one ready over there just in case. Took a quick break. I guess you heard on there the, oh no, I'm out. That was from my wife when I was chasing her and actually tagged her on the leg a little bit. So we kind of moved off and regrouped. Charlie on the end there, as you see, we left her the way she was. There's still probably about 5 frames worth that they've got to pull out. We'll give it another week and see what happens there. And then I had another box ready to put on, but we may or may not have to use that because we're getting to the end of our flow season here within the next couple of weeks. But we want to take advantage of everything we can get. As you can see next to our alpha, we did put another box on top. They are full. That's the one we extracted, one box. That box that's up there is the one we extracted last week. And also on old yellow down there at the end. That box is back there to fill up now. So that's where we are at this point in time for June 11th, 2022. And y'all have a great rest of the week.